Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good evening and welcome, everybody. What a joy to be joined by each one of you. Good evening and welcome. I just want to share one or two things with you before I go to bed tonight. I was on a show a few minutes ago with Brother Elias Musha. And I thought I should, before I dismantle the studio setup here, I should probably greet you all and say hi to you. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, world. Good evening, everybody. Where are you joining us from? I just want to greet you. I missed you. And I just want to say hi to you. Welcome, everybody. Where are you joining us from? Good evening. We won't be long, just a few minutes with you. I just want to greet you. Isa says, welcome back, Mr. Nawa. Thank you. Muhai says, I welcome back. We missed you. Serenge, good evening, my dear brother. How are you? I'm well. How are you? Good evening, brother Mubita. We missed you. Welcome back. Thank God. Give us him. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Hey. Hi, Bo. Brian says, watching you from Kabwe. Mulea says, you look nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. We are going to start. I see you, Bonawa. Eugene, I see you too. Priscilla, hi, my brother. Hi, Priscilla. Good evening. Chembe Mireya, my good friend. How are you, Get to? Good to see you, boy. Blake says, welcome back. The struggle must continue. Absolutely. Good evening and welcome back. Forward, Diche. It's happening, guys. It's happening. We love you, says Julius. Love you back. Welcome back from Livingstone. Even when sleeping, you are in the UPND regalia. That's why you were arrested. You take things so personal. Let me see. Come, Shani Nawali. Police come. They can't come. They don't want me there. So we're gonna start shortly. I'll just be here about 20 minutes, guys. Let's gather. If you have any question for me, I would like you to ask so that I can answer. How are you, my brother? Mutinta, how are you? Ricardo says, welcome back from Mpik. Glad to be back. Hey. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Let's have a conversation. Time for change, George says, absolutely. Harriet says, Vashin Kalanda. Watching from Stone. Natotela Harriet. Vashin Kalanda Balipa Live. Looking great, my man. Check this out, my favorite part. How cool is that? Whoa. Give us the way. So, I just wanted to greet you. I want to start with a quotation by George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw said, progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Maiza says, we missed you a lot. I missed you too. Professor Nawa, that's a big title. Madiba says, good evening. Happy to see you. Honestly, tonight, I just wanted to, I was live a few minutes ago with Brother Elias Musha on Bakwetu TV. Amazing stuff. And Uncle Norman Chipaku. I said thank you to them for the fights, for the amazing work you all did. Betson, you want to be in the video? Share that song with playing on the background. I'll do that. So I just wanted to really say thank you to you guys for the amazing work. I'm doing really, really well. My health is improving every moment. You see, when you spend that much time in a small space and you are so many, there's the way we used to sleep in there, we used to call it one mbambo. You just literally sleep on the side, you see. When you spend that much time, your nerves curl up. Purity says, good to see you, Nawa. Good to see you too. Eusebia says, thank God you're fine. Welcome back. I'm fine. Watching you from Monze, Moses. Looking great. Twalumba. Give us Siwe. Julia, Gila, Chimba, my good friend, my wonderful friend. Gila, good to see you. Sangulukani Tembo, welcome back. You are giving PF sleepless nights. No, it's not me. This is not an individual work. What is causing people sleepless nights is that it's time for change. And I learned something in agriculture science. When a fruit is ripe, it will always fall to the ground. And it's time for change in our country. It's time for new leadership that will respect the rights, the human rights of people, leadership that will empower citizens in a pragmatic, proper way. It's time for healing. We have bruised each other too much. We have incarcerated each other too much. We have violated each other too much. It's time for change. It's time for leadership that will apportion resources to the right agriculture, industrial, academic things, just simple things. For example, it's time for a government that will give meal allowances to students. Just simple things. Students want their meal allowances. Not only do they want their meal allowances, they need their meal allowances. And if I remember correctly, at the time the meal allowance was being scrapped, the meal allowance was somewhere around 350 kwacha per student, somewhere 350, 370 per student. When UPND comes into power, not only will we restore that meal allowance, we'll even increase it, because we'll then calculate the economic differential on that meal allowance. And we want to make sure that your meal allowance can at least buy you a bag of meal. Your meal allowance can buy you even a 750 meals container of cooking oil. Your meal allowance can buy you a tray of eggs. Your meal allowance can buy you a 2 kg bag of sugar. You know, if that meal allowance can do that for you, at least the UPND government will ensure that students are cushioned. The UPND government under President Hakainde Hichilema will ensure that the roads that we build are not overpriced. So, for example, a 1 kilometer stretch will not cost $3 million to build. We will then look at what Botswana builds their roads for, which is around $500,000 a kilometer. We'll look at what South Africa builds their roads for, which is around $750,000 per kilometer. And we'll look at what Zimbabwe builds their roads for, which is around $330,000 per kilometer. Then we'll look at what Zambia has been paying for its road, which is about $3 million. We will then say, why does Zambia pay more? We will eliminate those corruption opportunities. We will strengthen industry, and we'll make sure that everybody gets a share of the economic portion that God has given us. So the people in Chipata will have cotton factories, ginneries, and nobody will manipulate their tobacco prices. The people in Western Province will have cashew nut factories. The people in Luapula will have enhanced tourism. We'll clear some of the land in Luapula for ranching. We'll clear some of that land for maize production. If the people of Luapula and Northern and maybe part of Mchinga, some of the natives don't want to farm, we'll find a way to import some of the skills within the country, and then we'll cross-pollinate the country. The sand in Western Province will create not only a glass product manufacturing industry, but employment, real employment for young people. When we say we'll build you a stadium in Western Province, we'll actually build it at the right price. We will do things slightly similar to how Manawasa did it. Mwanawasa would tell the Chinese, look, if you want a deal from me, let me tell you what I want from you. Mwanawasa would say, build me a stadium and call it Levi Mwanawasa. Build me a stadium and call it Hire Stadium. When you leave that commitment in my country, then we can do a deal. But even that deal must benefit all Zambians, not just individuals. Those are the deals President Hakainde Hichilema will be making. President Hakainde Hichilema will spend his time fighting for medicines in hospitals. President Hakainde Hichilema will never boast about new hospitals when in actual fact those hospitals have no medicine. President Hakainde Hichilema will put even just basic medicine, just chlorophene, diclofenac, is it diclofenac, something like that. We'll put salbutamol, we'll put family planning pills in the hospitals. He won't just build hospitals at huge loans, exorbitant contracts. No. He will make sure each hospital has medicine. I mean, I was sick last week on Thursday. Not only did I pay three kwacha for the book, we had to buy the all the medicine that I took on Thursday when I fell sick last week. We had to buy it. My family had to buy it. There was literally no medicine in the hospital. Under Hakainde Hichilema, all the medicine that you will take in the hospital will be available in the hospital because this country has the ability to pay for that. Sometimes people say, where will President Hakainde Hichilema get the money to buy modern books at Mulungushi University, in Kwame Nkrumah University, and Copperbelt University, and University of Zambia? Where will he get the money to buy books and modernize technology and boost up the research department of University of Zambia? Where will HH get that money from? Sometimes we must not ask a good leader where he will get the money from. We should also ask the bad leaders where they have taken the money. So wherever they've taken that money, that's where we're going to get it from. There was a story I learned a long time ago. There was a man who was amputated, had his hands amputated somewhere here. And he was accused in court of stealing a engine block of a car. And in court, he argued before the judge, I cannot steal an engine. And the judge finally said, you know what? By virtue of the evidence that I see in you, I find you free. But as a way of saying thank you to you, I want you to take the engine with you and just go home and just utilize it. And the man said, thank you, Mr. Judge. You know, he clapped his wrists and said, thank you, Mr. Judge. And the judge says, no, take the engine. It's yours. Take the engine block. And at that point, the man said, you know, okay. And then he took his hands and clasped them into the sleeves of the engine, and he lifted it. And as he was walking away with the engine block, the judge, you know, just hit the scepter on the table and said, wait. And the man, you know, he had the engine block in his hands, and the court was almost adjourning and going away. And the judge says, wait, earlier on you told me you could not lift an engine block. And now you have literally carried the engine block. And you said because you couldn't lift it, therefore you couldn't steal it. So by virtue of you carrying the engine block, I sentence you to 6 years imprisonment for theft of an engine block. And so wherever they have taken the engine blocks for this country, we'll get those engine blocks back and share them among us Zambians. There's a good question here. Oliver says, what are your plans for the mines, especially Copperbelt and Mulungushi Textiles in Kabwe? Thank you, Oliver. Great question. They will never lie to Zambians that we will open Mulungushi Textiles. If you've noticed, Mulungushi Textile always gets opened just before elections. We will never do that. We will revamp Mulungushi Textiles. But we will have to do a SWOT analysis. We'll look at the strength of Mulungushi Textiles, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And we'll say to them, okay, are we honestly going to still make textiles? Or can we do something else with Mulungushi Textiles? What was Kabwe known for a long time ago? And, you know, what do we need to do to revamp the industry of Mulungushi Textiles? So Mulungushi Textiles will be revamped, but it will be revamped according to the strategic analysis, the business strategic unit and the value proposition, the equity-based value proposition that Mulungushi Textiles presents to the nation at this time. So who knows, Mulungushi Textiles may become a sugar plantation. Mulungushi Textile may become an assembly plant for motor vehicles. That is how modern leaders think. They don't just do things to please their political partners, but they do things to transpose and transform the future. In terms of the Copper Belt, President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND are curious to ensure that we look at renegotiating some of the loans. So, for example, Mufulira copper mines and Konkola copper mines and Mopani copper mines and Kansanshi in Solwezi, we will look at what are their tax bases, for example, and I don't want to speak on specific. We have NMC members who are in charge of mines and so on and so forth. But in general terms, we will look at, for example, what contracts went to cadres that should never have gone to cadres. We will ask ourselves what has happened on the Copper Belt. Why has the Copper Belt followed UPND? Because right now I can tell you the 1.2 million voters, registered voters of the Copper Belt, are voting for UPND come August 12th. Why have they decided to switch to UPND? Why has Copper Belt turned red? Because Copper Belt, Sister Likezo, good to see you. Hello, Bonawa, nice seeing you back on live show. Thank you so much. Copper Belt has turned red because the suppliers who used to supply Copper Belt are no longer supplying. The contracts are going to people who are friends of you know who. Copper Belt has gone down because the way mines used to be run in a professional manner has gone down. Security for truckers, the people who transport goods, has gone down. People are climbing trucks and chipping off cathodes of copper, and there's no security. There was a time mine police on the Copper Belt was so powerful, but now there's been a compromise in security, strategic positioning, taxation, tax loopholes. The UPND will look at every option of taxation that will benefit the nation and that will also benefit the miners as well. And so the President Hakainde Hichilema is a businessman, is a strategist. Percy Chanda is a great NMC chairperson for mines, great person that understands the mining sector. And together with all other NMCs, the mines will be revamped. Great questions. Paul says, we really missed you, Mr. Nawa. Lusaka, let's push Bali to State House. I want to say that we are not even going to push Bali to State House. State House is pulling Bali to itself. Cynthia Walia, thank you, says, hey boss, Cynthia, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for all your support and all your hard work. Kelly says, we need good leadership. We do. So the mines will be revamped. Tourism sector will be revamped in Southern Province, Northern Province, Luapula Province, and Western Province. And also, I want you to know that tourism sector, one of the ways we will revamp tourism is that we're going to lower taxes. The tourism sector is overtaxed. I'll give you an example. To run a helicopter in Livingstone, a helicopter business, a helipad business in Livingstone, you need 12 licenses to run a helicopter. To run a lodge in Livingstone, you need 6 to 7 licenses. To run a helicopter in Zimbabwe on the Victoria Falls side, you need 3 licenses. 3 licenses. So 12 licenses, each one costing thousands and thousands, compared to 3 on the other side. To run a lodge in Livingstone, you need a hotel license, city council license, health license, COVID license, about 7 licenses. And these are renewable sometimes on a 3-month basis. We are going to change all of that. Why not give the lodge 1 license, 2 licenses maximum? That lowers taxation. The lodge is able to hire more people. The lodge is able to lower its room rates and therefore increase its occupancy percentage rate, and that will transform all of that. The informal sector under UPND will be organized. It will not be politicized. So, for example, revenues at local government level will be collected by local government. Revenues will be managed by local government. That way, those revenue streams go into service provisions. Those revenue streams go into value addition, garbage recycling, and all of that. President Hakainde will never allow me to schedule anything that will make him look good politically, when in actual fact it will hurt the environment, it will damage the confidence of the people, and in return it will destroy the overall objective and footprint, economic footprint of our country. He will always, as he always does, ask me, Mubita, what is this for? Why are you doing it like this? Was this the best way to do it? He will always challenge any political decision so that it has economic impact and economic benefit to everybody. In terms of the unemployed, don't you worry. Agriculture is the key to the economic emancipation of this nation. We shall export more beef than Swaziland and Botswana. We shall export to Europe. We shall export tomatoes. We shall export groundnuts. We shall export cotton and tobacco. Agriculture is the key that UPND will utilize to transform this economy. Why do I say that? We have the land. We have arable land. We have the water, clean water. We have our aqua streams underground are plenty. We have the labor. So be ready under UPND. National service is coming back. Students are going to go to national service, not as a corporal punishment, but as a transformational behavioral change place where we train young people to be economists, to be leaders, agriculturalists, and pharmacists at the same time, farming and planting and fish farming. We shall tap into World Bank reserves. We shall renegotiate the loans of Zambia. We shall go and talk to Eurobond holders. We shall talk to IMF. They are our friends. We already know them. We deal with them. We have dealt with them. So there's nothing that's going to change. And some of them have been withholding their goodwill because a lot of goodwill that the international community had for this nation has really evaporated due to lack of vision, lack of accountability, and lack of seriousness, quite frankly, towards the economic emancipation of the nation. So, to put it simply, Zambia is ready for a great leader. I want to ask you this question. Imagine you were on a bus and the driver of the bus was tired. The driver of the bus didn't know the bus stops. The driver of the bus didn't know, or the conductor, or both of them, regardless, or the bus company, it doesn't matter. They didn't know the change. They didn't have loose money. They didn't remind you of when your station was going to come. Would you want that driver to continue to drive that bus? And then at the next station, maybe from Luton, or maybe you're transitioning from Birmingham and you are on the tube, and at the next station you have a chance to get a driver on who is a successful driver. He owns his own fleet of trains. He has an amazing team of intellectuals around him. He promises you less congestion on the train, a bit of food on the train, a bit of bursaries, lower taxes, literally not more money in your pockets, but more money in the economy. This driver will lower the dollar rate and the pound rate. This driver will take away violence. Nobody will be arrested. Nobody will be incarcerated without a reason. Would you still want that driver who was tired to continue driving the train? And would you actually even create a song that says Alebwelela Popambupando? Would you do that, or would you then say, no, I'm ready for a new driver? And I want you Zambians to know that you have a very sober driver in President Hakainde Hichilema. You have a very sober, hardworking co-driver in Reverend Mutalina Lumango. You have an amazing mechanic in the Secretary General of the UPND, Honorable Imenda. You have a fantastic ombudsman of a chairman of the UPND, Honorable Stephen Katuka. And you have 100 amazing NMC members. You have fantastic crew to support this train in the 156 members of parliament candidates that we have featured. And you have a fantastic cleaning team on this train in the names of councillors and so on and so forth. And I just want you to know, Zambia, it's time to change trains. And when you change the train, like we say in England, mind the gap. In this case, the gap is lies, accusations, manipulation, and violation of the rule of law. Mind the gap. God bless you, Zambia. It's wonderful to see you. I'll talk to you next time. This is your friend and brother, the Lozy Boy, Mubita Nawa. God bless you. Thank you for the love when I was gone. Thank you for the support. God bless you, Zambia. God bless you, Zambia. God bless you, Zambia. Good night, Anthony. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I almost feel like dancing and getting up to dance. God bless you. Bless you too, Judith. Thank you. Jean, how are you? Good to see you. Likezo, you are a blessing to me, Sister Likezo. Thank you. Good night, Chanda. Casa, it's nice to see you too. Kellywood says, good night, brother Nawa. Good night to you. Love you lots, guys. Thank you for all you did whilst I was gone. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Sharon says, Mubita, we want to see strategic leaders who have the ability to make decisions that enhance the prospects of our country's long-term success while maintaining short-term financial stability. You can say that again. Sharon Erinel. Thank you, Sharon. That is amazing. Wow, I love that comment. Absolutely love that. May God bless you, my brother, and your family. Thank you, Jim. Kenneth says, don't go. Don't leave me. God bless you. We have to go. I asked for 20 minutes only, and we have achieved that. I'm happy to see you after the sales, James. Thank you. I'm happy to see you too. God bless you, brother. Keep going. Honorable Sweeney, thank you. Paul says, we missed you. I missed you too. It's time for change. Mwenge says, my boss, remember me when we form government. I promise you one thing, President Hakainde Hichilema will remember every Zambian. Omed says, happy, 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 happy. Yes. Apani forward, boss, says Monde. Forward, and they know it. And congratulations on an amazing filing in. That was awesome. Good to see you too, Junior. Paul says you're a strong man. James says, I support PF, though I got hurt when you were detained. Then do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't support anything that is wrong. Anything that violates your true conscience, you shouldn't be a part of that. Brian says, don't leave, sir. Hey! Hey! What's that? Give us. Boss watching you from Mandevo. Happy to see you, comrade, now. Happy to see you too. I almost want to dance, but let my leg heal completely. We shall dance. Woza. Thank you, Jesus, for your goodness. Bob says, good to see you, our motivational speaker. Last time I met you was in Muflira at Kantanshi when I was in grade 12. Wow. Congratulations. I remember that talk in Muflira. It was entitled How to Set Goals. Good night, Zambia. Good night, UK. Good night, Perth, Australia. New York, Dallas, Texas. Chuempala. And thank you, Brother Musha, for having me on your show tonight. Good night.